What's going on, everybody? Y'all already know the vibes. In today's video, guys, I'm going to be predicting the second week of the CDL season. So if you guys didn't see my other video, I predicted the first week of the CDL season. I end up going 6-4 overall. Okay, I start out hot, start out 4-0, and then a couple teams let me down. But this week we're going to switch it up just a little bit. I'm actually going to do the CDL pick'ems with the exact scores of the matches to make things a little bit more interesting. So starting off the second week of the league, we have the Florida Mutineers versus the Los Angeles Guerrillas, guys. I'll be honest, Florida did not look good last week. They didn't, but I feel like they're a better team than they showed, okay? I think the whole team played pretty poorly besides Neptune. I think they are going to win this series, and I think they're going to do it pretty convincingly. I have a 3-1. Next up, we do have Optic versus the Ultra, baby. Now, guys, this is a interesting matchup, okay? Because Optic is pretty much considered a top team right now, right? They lost to FaZe. They got absolutely bodied, exposed in S&D, but they looked good in the respawns. The respawns were very back and forth, and that's kind of expected, right? With the Ultra, though, they looked good, man. The Ultra played the Mutineers in week 1 and won pretty convincingly 3-1, and they looked damn good. Now, I did say I thought the Mutineers played pretty poorly, so I don't know if that was a series where it was more Ultra winning or Mutineers losing. I think it's too early to tell in the league, right? But I think there is a very good chance that Toronto Ultra can cause an upset here. I might look like a genius, or I'm going to look absolutely stupid. I'm going to get roasted. But I have the Toronto Ultra winning this series 3-2. I think the Toronto Ultra are going to be very good at SND, and there are no slouches at respawn either. Okay, they looked very good in respawn, especially hardpoint versus the Mutineers. So I think it is very realistic that they steal respawn. I mean, who knows? They could win more than one respawn. But I think that they can definitely steal one and beat Optic in both S&Ds. And that's it for the matchups on Thursday. Moving on to Friday, guys, we have the Minnesota Rocker versus the Seattle Surge. Now, this is tough because I guess supposedly Gunless has been playing on 60 hertz the whole time, and he switched over to 240 before their match against the Royal Ravens, and he absolutely dominated. But I don't know if I'm fully sold, because while Gunless played fantastic and they did win, it was 3-2. I just don't see them having a chance. I don't. Minnesota Rocker went 1-1. They lost to LA Thieves and then beat Dallas Empire in week 1. And I just think right now they just look stronger overall in every game mode. I don't see this series going the distance. I think Minnesota's going to win 3-0, 3-1. To play it safe, I will say 3-1. I think it could be like last year where everyone was saying Sam needs help. Maybe he still needs help. I can't put Seattle Surge winning this series. I can't. So I have Minnesota Rocker winning 3-1. Then the next matchup is a juicy one. We have the London Royal Ravens versus the New York Subliners, guys. And this is interesting, okay? Because both teams aren't really at 100%, right? Royal Ravens is using Parasite. New York is using Diamond Con. And there's nothing against those two players, but those weren't the players that the teams wanted in the beginning of this game, right? In the beginning of the season. But I think the Subliners actually looked pretty damn good with Diamond Con. I do. Mac played very poorly, okay? There's no hiding that. Not a surprise to anyone. He played really bad. And they still played LA Thieves so damn close. I know the series was a 3-0, but every single map went down to the wire. Every single map could have been a Subliners win, right? And the Royal Ravens lost to the Seattle Surge, who I don't really rate them that highly in the first place, right? Well, I have to go with the Subliners here. I actually think that this could be a stomping. Now, I know you're going to say, well, they got 3-0'd, but the games look so good. And honestly, if it wasn't for a few small mistakes, Subliners would have won that series versus LA Thieves 3-0. They would have. You know, the facts are there, okay? I think they're going to come out, use the time that they had since week 1, be able to kind of close out those close games. And I think they're going to be actually a very underrated team moving forward with Diamond Con. Who knows when Hydra's going to come into play? You know, we don't know. But I think this is going to be a 3-1. But I do think the games that they win are going to be by a good margin. Then moving on to Saturday, guys, this is the first day that we get 3 series. That's how it works. Thursday and Friday is 2 each day, and then Saturday and Sunday it's 3 with the marquee matchup, etc., etc. Starting off, we have Dallas Empire versus London Royal Ravens. I think this one's a no-brainer, man. Yes, Dallas did lose to the Minnesota Rocker, but they all played pretty poorly besides Kyler, okay? Side note, Hugh is the best player in the game right now, in my opinion. He does it all, man. He has evolved so much over the years as a player to where I'm proud, you know, because when I tabled him, he was a little kill for, okay? Now he does it all. He seems super consistent, super locked in Cold War right now. But the rest of his team let him down in that series versus Rocker, which it happens. You know, you can't play great every single map, every single series. You're going to have off days, off games, whatever the case may be. But I think it was kind of like a reality check for Empire. Everyone's going to be on the same page. They're all going to play well. And they're going up against a lesser skilled team in the Royal Ravens. I think they're going to try and get back on track. So I'm going to go ahead and say Dallas Empire is going to win this 3-0. Then the second match of the day is Chicago Optic versus Los Angeles Guerrillas. Once again, I think the talent disparity is just way too far out there. Optic is the clear-cut better team. They have the more talented players. I think they're better overall in every game mode. I wouldn't be surprised necessarily to see Guerrillas take a map, but this series is going to be 3-0, 3-1. I'm going to go 3-0, okay? Because I'm doing the pick'ems, I really do want to try and get the exact map counts and not just predicting which team I think is going to win. So I'm going to go 3-0 because I really think it's just going to be too much. Okay, the slaying power in Optics is going to be too much for the Guerrillas. The pace they play at is just, you know, it's Optic versus Guerrillas. And then lastly, we have a fantastic matchup. It is the marquee matchup of the day, the Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto Ultra. Now, this is a series I'm looking forward to. Unless, of course, Optic absolutely dismantle and disrespect Ultra during the first match of the week. Because then at that point, realistically, FaZe is probably going to body them too. But in my own head, with how I see it playing out, I see Ultra beating Optic 3-2, like I said. And then this brings up a different discussion, is how good is the Toronto Ultra? And are they very underrated or were they underrated going into the season, right? Because if the Ultra beat Optic, that means they would have beaten Mutineers, Optic, and now they're playing FaZe. I don't know if I could bet against FaZe. I don't. I think when it matters, you know, they're cream of the crop, best of the best. Their S&D looked absolutely unbelievable, which I felt like that would kind of be where Toronto Ultra's advantage would come in, but not against FaZe. I hope this series is close, especially since I'm predicting that it's going to be close. But I do have FaZe edging it out 3-2. Moving on to the final day of week 2, guys, we have the Florida Mutineers versus Paris Legion. I think, like I said, Mutineers looked really bad last week, okay? They did. I think they're going to kind of get their heads on straight and put on a good performance this weekend. At least they should, okay? They're going up against 2 teams that are definitely not as good as them when you look at on paper, okay? They should beat the Guerrillas and they should beat the Paris Legion. If you're going to be a top team, guys, okay, a team that can compete for championships, you know what, contender, you got to win the matches that you're supposed to win, okay? As simple as that. So they should beat Guerrillas and they should beat Paris. If they don't, then maybe I was wrong. Maybe some of you were wrong and they're not a top level team. Maybe they're just middle of the pack. You know, who knows? But I think they're going to get their heads on straight. They're going to perform well, go 2-0 this weekend. I have them beating the Legion 3-1. That's the final prediction for that. Okay, 3-1, that's it. Woo! Then we have LA Thieves going up against the Seattle Surge, the only match that the Thieves are playing this week. And yeah, y'all already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to vote LA Thieves, clearly. No, but seriously, I am going to pick LA Thieves. But I don't think that's a hot take. And I think most of you guys probably agree. LA Thieves look good, man, in week 1. I told y'all, okay? When it mattered, different ball game. Now, they didn't play against top tier teams by any means, okay? But they looked pretty solid, you know? And I especially like the fact that they were able to close out those close games, those clutch moments where you either got it or you don't. That was nice to see, because that's something you can't teach, man. You either have the ice or you don't. But I think this matchup versus Seattle Surge will be a little bit easier. I just not valuing the Surge that highly you know, completely unbiased. It's not like they dropped me and they benched me for like the whole season. You know, this is completely off the top. I just don't think they're as talented or as good as a whole compared to a lot of the other teams in the league. So I have LA Thieves winning this 3-1. And then the last matchup of the week, the marquee matchup on Sunday, is the Minnesota Rocker versus the New York Subliners. Now, this is an interesting one, okay? Because from what we know, let's put the pieces together. The Rocker lost to the LA Thieves, okay? They beat Dallas Empire 3-2 in a very close series, clutched up. The Subliners only played one match last week where they lost 3-0 to LA Thieves, but every single map went down to the wire. And like I said, they could have easily won that series 3-0. So it's kind of hard to gauge, right? Because LA Thieves kind of bodied Minnesota, right? And they played very close versus the Subliners. But Rocker also has another game for sample size versus Empire where they did win the series against a very, very talented team. So it's going to come down to Mac. If he plays like he did versus the LA Thieves, I don't think there's a chance in hell that the Subliners beat the Rocker. I don't. I think they're just going to get punished. Now, if he steps it up, which he definitely can, and play up to his potential, I think this will be a close series. But from the evidence that I have right now, even if it's a small sample size, I'm going to go Minnesota Rocker because they are the stronger team, in my opinion, at least in this moment. But the evidence is there. You guys saw all my picks. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Roast me, gas me up. It doesn't matter. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Y'all already know I appreciate everything. And also, if you guys are still watching the video, got some heat coming out this week. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, I can't leak nothing. Little sneak peek, though. Got some heat coming out. Okay, I'm excited. I hope all you guys are. Well, you don't even know what it is, so I don't know how you can be excited. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. Until the next video, I appreciate everyone. Have a good one. Stay safe. The kids out.